Pink Floyd, Obscured by Clouds, 1972. I have a lot to say about this album, so buckle up. Produced by Pink Floyd, 10 songs, 40 minutes, released on June 2nd, 1972. This is another movie soundtrack, this time for the film called La Vallee, or La Vallee. I'm not sure, but I don't speak French. A movie about two lovebirds, Vivian and Olivier, and their trip through a valley. And I've never seen the movie, and I don't intend to. If I watch the movie, it may wreck the album experience for me, and I don't want to. I don't want that to happen. Like the Steven Wilson song "Economies of Scale," awesome song. Don't watch the video. Yeah, you've been warned. Okay. The album cover. Let's see. First of all, this is an old 1988 CD that I got at the exclusive company, and the album cover is, I think this is one of the people from the film, and it's just been blurred, and it's meant to look like clouds, but I don't think those are clouds. And then on the back, you've got some scenes from the movie. Like, I think that's the valley, and these are people. I think that's Olivier and Vivian. And then on the back, you've got the names of the songs and the track numbers, but not the title or the time for the songs. And on the inside, it's just black and white, no pictures. This is one of those 1988 deals where, it hasn't been remastered. And I'd like to get my hands on a remastered copy. That'd really make me happy. So what about there's no lyrics or nothing in here. It's just plain Jane. Most of this album is 16 bars and 16 bars this and 16 bars that, and with an occasional 4-bar introduction or an 8-bar solo or an 8-bar change-up, but pretty standard stuff. And I think that's because of they did that structure just to go along with the movie, like to make it easier for the movie. The first two tracks are meant to be played back to back for maximum effect, and that's just how Nick Mason's Saucerful of Secrets with Guy Pratt and Gary Kemp played it on their last two tours. So with that, I think let's just get right into it. It's produced by Pink Floyd, which, if you know anything about Pink Floyd, this is what it says right here, produced by Pink Floyd. If you know anything about them, they produce themselves, which means, you're in charge of when it's your time to record, then you're in charge. And different members sit in different chairs in the production room. Okay, so let's get into it. Obscured by Clouds is the first song. It's the title track. It's track 1. It's written by Gilmour and Waters. That would be David Gilmour and Roger Waters. It's 3 minutes and 4 seconds. It has EMS VC3. It's got drums and guitar, and that's pretty much the song. What I would like to do is sit out on my deck. Just visualize one of those 80-degree days. Tiki torches lit, clear sky with the moon out, and it's getting dark out, and crank the song, and I'm drinking a Smirnoff Ice. That's what I want to do, something like that. Okay, the first notes you hear are A's, and so I would guess A major, and the song kind of starts with a kind of does that at the beginning, and then you hear a where. It's an A note. So I'm gonna say it's an A major, but it could be D major because and it's a very slow tempo at 81 beats per minute. It's in 4/4 time. It's an instrumental, Obscured by Clouds. Where. That's kind of how the song goes, and then the bongos are doing that. The lead guitar seems to be double tracked or some kind of effect on it. That's what makes me think it's double tracked, because it's got like a where. It's got like an echoey vibrating thing going to it. I'm not a studio engineer, so I don't know how they do that, but I'll just guess it's double tracked. The second song is When You're In. It's written by Gilmour, Mason, and Wright and Waters, so the whole band. It's a group composition. It's 2 minutes and 31 seconds, and it's it's not too much different from Obscured by Clouds. It's in the key of A major, according to Chordify.net, which is what I looked at a lot for this album. It's 81 beats per minute and 4/4 time, and it's an instrumental too. So dan, dan, da, 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 da. The song is broken up into phrases of 4. So that whole that whole thing is 4 bars, and those 4 bars are what make up the song. So they just keep repeating that 4 bars but changing it up. It's about 13 phrases of 4 bars total. Okay. And I used to have a yoga playlist on Spotify, and these 2 tracks are on it. And Obscured by Clouds and When You're In, that it works very well for yoga, and it's just a great start to the album. Track 3 on Obscured by Clouds is called Burning Bridges. It's written by Richard Wright and Roger Waters. It's 3 minutes and 29 seconds, and the way this one goes is David Gilmour sings the first verse, and then Richard the second verse, and then vocal harmony by David and Richard in the rest of the verses. And it's just the way Echoes from the song Echoes from Pink Floyd Meddle is sung in that vocal harmony. And I like Gilmour's voice a lot. He's in my top 5 vocalists, but Richard isn't far behind. I love it when Richard sings, and there isn't enough of Richard Wright vocals in Pink Floyd. But he's here. He's here singing in vocal medley, but he also has the second verse by himself. Burning Bridges in the key of C minor, according to Chordify.net, and it's 59 beats per minute. It's very slow tempo, and it's in 3/4 time. And the verse is bridges burning gladly, merging with a shadow flickering between the lines. And that's how you know the verses start, because it's got that. And those are 8-bar verses. And the line is sung the way the keyboard melody is played. So it does that, okay? And then the instrumental is it's an instrumental bridge. Let's just call it the middle 16 bars. It's played with Gilmour's lead played over the top of the organ, bass, and drums, and it sounds like electric guitar and then slide guitar for the final 8 bars. So it's like 8 bars, and then it's a second 8 bars were slide guitar. And he's doing it. It's kind of that kind of thing. And then the outro is 8 bars, similar to the second 8 bars of the bridge. And Burning Bridges is a verse, 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 that instrumental bridge with the 2 8-bar sections, and then a final verse, and then the outro. And the outro is only 8 bars. That's Burning Bridges. The 4th track is The Gold That's in the ... written by Gilmour and Waters, and it's 3 minutes and 7 seconds. Gilmour is on lead vocals, and he's playing the lead melody on his guitar, and also a fairly heavy rhythm section, like a rhythm guitar part, almost like the Nile song from More, but it's sped up. It's not the same, but it kind of gives me the same feeling. Also, I made the connection that Gene Simmons took this riff for the whole dun 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 da da. But when Gene Simmons stole it and put it in a Kiss song, but it's a little bit different. It's like dun dun dun. I gotta go back. I think it's on Sonic Boom or Psycho Circus, but I could be wrong. I haven't been listening to Kiss lately, so I just know that I think Gene ripped The Gold That's in the. Okay, it's a key of E major, and it's 120 beats per minute. The Gold That's in the, and it's in 4/4 time. And the intro is 4 bars, and then after that 4 bars, the verse is, "Come on, my friends, let's make for the hills. You know, they say there's gold, and they're looking for thrills." It's 16 bars, and then the outro. That's basically the song, by the way. It's a verse, and then there's an outro after the second verse. The outro starts at 1:15, 1 minute and 15 seconds in, and it's like a lead guitar solo. 48 bars with a fade out at the end. And that's what most of the song is. It's this 48 bars of David Gilmour jamming with the band. It works too. It works. Track 5 is called What's the Deal, or What's the Deal, with 3 dots after the what's. I just call it What's the Deal. It's written by Gilmour and Waters. It's 5 minutes and 8 seconds. David Gilmour playing his he played this some nights on a solo tour in 2006, which which I have it on this Blu-ray disc here. It's it's called Live at the Royal Albert Hall. There's a version of it on there. It's not in the main thing, but like in the special features part of the disc. What's the Deal is in the key of G major. It's 88 beats per minute, and it's in 4/4 time. And we know David Gilmour likes it because he was playing it after On an Island. On the On an Island tours where he had Nash and Crosby with him. Anyway, I digress. The verse is, Heaven sent the promised land, looks all right from where I stand. Da 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 da. It's a 16-bar verse. And then the chorus is 8 bars of, so let me in from the cold, turn my head into gold. Da 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 da. That's the chorus. And then there's 2 solos in it. There's a piano solo of 16 bars, and then I would imagine that's Richard Wright. And then David Gilmour is playing the guitar solo of 8 bars on slide guitar. That's What's the Deal. It's a cool tune right in the middle of the album. It's a verse, chorus, the 2 solos that I talked about, and then one more final verse and an outro. Track 6 on Obscured by Clouds is called Mudmen, and it's also written by Gilmour and Richard Wright. And it's 4 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm not sure if this take is right, but this is an instrumental version of Burning Bridges. At least that's how I've always thought of it. But it's slower, and there's more room to explore the space between the guitars and keyboards in it. And it's interesting. I think Burning Bridges is it Wright and Waters, but this is Gilmour Wright. So I don't know how they, whatever. I don't care. It's in the key of C minor according to Chordify.net, and that is the exact same key as Burning Bridges for Mudmen. And Mudmen, like I said, the tempo is about the same, but Mudmen drags a little bit more than Burning Bridges. I played them both at the same time. One on my iPod and one on the Bose out there. And Mudmen is just a tick behind it, but it sure sounds the same. It's in the, let's see. Oh yeah, what did I want to say? 4/4 time. It's a phrase. Mudmen is phrased in 4 bars also. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Except it's a much slower tempo than what I just counted out. Like about 59 beats per second or 60. And 4 bars takes about 16 seconds of playtime. So there's about 16 phrases in this song total. Or if you want to think of 4 phrases is 16 bars, or maybe you want to think of it in 12 bars. So if it's 16 bars, it's a 4-verse song. Okay, that's how that works. At the 1 minute 30 second mark is the first guitar spot. Where. Okay, and then and Gilmour does a great job. And then at 2:06 starts a cool, more somber part of the song where Gilmour's playing a much more mellower guitar line at 2:06. And then at 3:16, the big guitar part, starting with the where, that's the start of the final verse, or the final 16 bars or whatever. That's cool. It's cool how they structured it the way they did, so you can tell it's like when each verse is starting. It's like I said, it's an instrumental, so no singing, no nothing like that. Mudmen might be the best song on the album, actually. Track 7 is Childhood's End. It's written by David Gilmour. It's 4 minutes and 32 seconds. The bongos from the title track "Obscured by Cloud" or those that whole thing is back. And Gilmour's on lead vocals. Kind of a thumpy song, like kind of clunky, but it's redeemed by the guitar solo at the end. It's in the key of E minor, and Wikipedia and Chordify agree, and it's 125 beats per minute. By the way, I have this book. I have this Pink Floyd anthology. None of these songs are on here. Look at the songs. None of these, The intro is it's a minute 35 seconds. It's by the way, it's a faster tempo song at 125 beats, so like a regular rock song, and it's in 4/4 time. The intro is really long, with that, and Gilmore's kind of building it up. Da dun dun da dun dun, and then the verse is you shout in your sleep. Da 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 da. It's 16 bars, and then the guitar solo that I talked about that starts at 2 minutes and 48 seconds. So there's like verse, and then the guitar solo, and it's 16 bar guitar solo of quintessential David Gilmour at his best. This is what most of his guitar solos will sound like from this going forward. From this album going forward, he's really got the whole blues thing down. It's quite good. The verses, the song arrangement is verse, guitar solo, verse. I've got the guitar solo stuck in my head. I go, that's how it starts. Okay, that's a guitar solo. I have this album memorized, in case you don't know. Track 8 is Free 4. It's written by Roger Waters and Richard Wright. Wright gets first billing, then Waters. It's 4 minutes and 15 seconds. And Roger Waters is on lead vocals. The first verse and the final verse are the same. And about Free 4, WAPL 105.7 out of Appleton, Wisconsin used to play the song occasionally. Maybe a few times a year I would hear it. But, that was back in high school. I don't know if they still play it. I don't know if they still play the same songs or not, but this is the only song on this album I had ever heard ever on the radio. I've never heard any of these songs on the radio. It's in the key of G major, Free 4, and it's just a dun 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 dun. It's in 4/4 time. The verse is, I think this is like the third or fourth verse, but it's my favorite verse. He goes, "You are the angel of death, and I am the dead man's son," which is this song is unusual for the album that it has a 12-bar verse, and all the verses are 12 bars. But I picked out that verse because I always like that verse, but also he's singing about his connection to his father, which becomes bigger and bigger on albums like Dark Side of the Moon and The Wall and The Final Cut. You hear a lot of the whole World War II story and how his dad died at Anzio. The guitar solo is about 8 or 9 bars, and then it segues back into the intro part to end. It's like a 12-bar. It's an 8-bar guitar solo wrapped into a 12-bar. They play an extra 4 bars to get you back to the verse. Okay, so Free 4 is verse, solo, verse, outro. That's the song arrangement, and it's called Free 4 because at the beginning he's 1, 2, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, he says 1, 2, 3, 4, bum, da 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 da. That's how the song starts. The track 9 is Stay. It's written by Richard Wright and Roger Waters. It's 4 minutes and 5 seconds. Lead vocals by Richard. I said Mudmen is probably the best track. If it's not Mudmen, it's Stay. Mudmen and Stay are the two best songs on here. It's in the key of G major. By the way, they like G major on this record. 3 out of the 10 tracks are G major. What's the Deal and Free 4 are the other two, and it seems to be an easy key to sing in and to write in, especially for men to sing in. And there's only one sharp note, so if you're following that. It's a 58 beats per minute, so another very slow tempo song in 4/4 time. And the intro is 34 seconds of the guitar playing the melody of the song. And it's a real squawking guitar, kind of like Mudmen. And the verse is, "Stay and help me to end the day, and if you don't mind, I'll break a bottle of wine." It's 16 bars. And it's Richard Wright singing lead, which I wish there was more Richard Wright everywhere in Pink Floyd. The chorus is "Midnight Blue, Burning Gold." The second chorus is different from the first and third chorus. The second chorus is "Midnight Dews, Newborn Day, Midnight Blue, Turn to Gray." But the first and third chorus are the same. And those are 8 bars plus 4 bars to bring it back to the verse. So you can think of the chorus as, I don't know, if it's an 8-bar chorus or a 12-bar chorus, or if it's 8 bars plus the 4 bars, however you want to think about it. But The guitar solo starts at 2 minutes and 40 seconds. It's the big squawking guitar, the quack 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 quack. It's pretty cool, and I know I have a friend that really likes that. The outro is the mild squawking guitar solo. It's not as big as the big one at the beginning. Stay is the song arrangement is a verse, chorus, verse, the guitar solo, and then the final chorus, and that's pretty much it. It's a quick 4 minutes, honestly. The final track is track 10, Absolutely Curtains. It's written by Gilmore, Mason, Waters, and Wright, so a group composition. And it's 5 minutes and 52 seconds. I don't have a lot to say about it. It's in the key of F major, according to Chordify. It's 115 beats per minute, but it's not like a song with a big drum beat. What it is it's two parts. The first part is this big atmospheric instrumental dominated by the organ. Richard Wright, I would imagine it's Richard Wright on organ. It's not like Cirrus Minor, but it's not like Cirrus Minor. But it's just real airy organ. And then the second part of the song is this chant, or Genius describes it as an oceanic chant. I have no idea what they're saying, but that's why I went to Genius, was like, what are these guys singing? I don't know what they're singing or saying. But that's Absolutely Curtains. It's the end of the album. Okay, let's wrap this up. Obscured by Clouds, in summary, it sold 785,000. That's a shitload. That's a lot. That's number 16 for Floyd overall, behind Hearth Mother and Ummagumma. I look at bestsellingalbums.com. That's where I get those numbers from. That was good for number 55 in 1972. So 16 for Floyd and 55 in 1972. But that's a lot of sales, 785,000. That's a lot. I mean, that's gold. That's almost platinum. ProgArchives.com gives it a 3.37 with a strong 1,770 ratings. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of user ratings. 3.37 seems about right to me. I'd give it 3.5 stars. I think it's worth 3.5 stars. Allmusic.com gives it 3 stars, and Rolling Stone gives it 2 stars according to the November 2004 edition, which I got online. I'm still looking for a Rolling Stone. Maybe you'll buy me one. I don't know. I have this ranked, Obscured by Clouds. I've got it ranked in the video ranking. In the ranking video I did for Pink Floyd, 8 out of 15. Number 8, Pink Floyd out of 15 for me. That's about right. Dead in the middle. It's not awesome. It's not. It doesn't deserve to be on the bottom end. It should be right in the middle. I like it. I've listened to it a lot, actually. To me, this album goes with Meddle. Even though Meddle's a lot different. And this is in between Meddle, and they were also working on Dark Side of the Moon. So, like, you can... I think this is around the Pompeii time. That seems about right, 72. So, they were about to get really big, which is probably how they sold 785,000 of these records, is because Dark Side was such a hit. People probably went back and started buying their older stuff. But, okay, that's it. That's enough. Obscured by Clouds. If you haven't heard it, you should check it out. It's much more mainstream than the previous records in the catalog. You know, like if you've heard Ummagumma or Meddle or Hearth Mother, this is more mainstream, but it still retains its Pink Floyd essence and qualities. The big guitars. David Gilmour is, he's really maturing. Roger Waters maturing as a songwriter and lyricist, and Richard Wright's ingrained. I mean, he's definitely still a huge part of the band, so it's a big album. Next on the channel will be ELP Trilogy, and then Chicago 5. Yeah, stay tuned for those. I'm out. Like and subscribe. Keep your comments coming, too.